Developing loyal customers and friends is good for business and great for a rewarding life. With over 30 years of experience, consultant, speaker, and trainer Dick Marks will guide you to better relationships and a brighter future.
You realize you are totally unique? That's right. What I'm saying is there's not another person in the more than 7 billion people in this world exactly like you. Now, if you're an identical, a twin, a triplet, there is someone else who has your DNA. But even then, your fingerprints are different. You are a totally unique person. Pretty amazing, isn't it? Despite our individuality, there is one thing that we share with everyone else, and that is our tendency to make mistakes, particularly relational mistakes. Sometimes we think, say, or do things that are poor choices, and there may be repercussions, or it may be something insignificant and small and not a big deal.
Oh, Cindy, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Wasn't paying attention.
Not a big deal. You make a quick apology and move on. The incident is forgotten. Now, it's one thing to bump into someone physically. Quickly forgotten, probably. It's quite another to jostle or bump into someone's self-esteem.
Cindy, this is the third time your drawer has been short here in a recent time. I need you to find this and get back to me quickly.
Wow. Ever blasted somebody like that? Sometimes our anger takes over and drives the behavior, and we end up saying something that we later regret. But there's no retakes. It's been done. And now the question is, what do I do? Where do I go with this? After something like this happens, we may think, well, they'll get over it. Maybe not. Sometimes we'll make a lame apology that really doesn't bring any healing, in fact, may make the situation even worse. If we don't address these kinds of issues when they happen and as quickly as possible, there could be some serious relational consequences. No more lame apologies. I'm going to show you a 5-step method that will lead to the healing of relationships. In fact, not only a healing, but coming together even closer than you were before. Here are the 5 steps. First, we're going to shame it, then name it, claim it, tame it, and drain it. We're going to cover each of these steps in detail and show you how it's done. Step number 1 is to think about the offense and feel the shame of it. To really be embarrassed about what happened. To shame it. If you're not able to get to this step, then nothing else is going to work well. And it's got to be a sincere, heartfelt sorrow for what you've just said or done. You got to start here.
What have I done to that good woman? I need to go apologize.
Now, once you've thought about the offense and shamed it, you move on to step number 2. And at this point, I suggest just making some notes, writing down some of the thoughts or the approach of this apology I think will be helpful. And step number 2 is to name it. This is where you specifically identify the behavior that you just exhibited that you feel sorry for. Be as specific as possible here. Write it down. After you've shamed it, named it, now you got to claim it. Make it your responsibility. No excuses. You're the one that made the offense. Claim it. You've shamed it, named it, claimed it. Now it's time to tame it. This is the point where you say how sorry you are. We're looking for repentance here. Repentance is change. Promises of changed behavior are going to be very important here. So you've taken the responsibility, but now let's talk about the future. How are we going to tame this behavior? Assure the person you've offended this isn't going to happen again, and you really are very sorry for it. In fact, you're so sorry that as you tame it, you're also going to demonstrate. This isn't just about cheap talk. you're going to show some way that really assures them, boy, they really do mean it here. There's going to be some reparation made. Well, so far we've been able to take the offense and shame it, name it, claim it, tame it. Now we want to drain it. Let's just wash it from the slate. And the way you do that is to ask for forgiveness. It's that simple. Now, when you put all that together, let's see what it looks like in the situation we started out with.
Cindy, I'm so sorry I embarrassed you. I want you to know it'll never happen again. I was way out of line. Let's work together, find the outage in your drawer, and then I want you to take the rest of the afternoon off. Would you please forgive me for what I did?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Of course, every situation is going to be a little bit different. Here's some additional guiding principles for you. First of all, in terms of where you make the apology. I like the idea of making the apology whenever possible at the point of the offense. This shows a real sign of sincerity and really allows others who may have heard the embarrassment to also hear your apology. Very powerful and effective. Second point is, you're going to ask for forgiveness. You have no control on the response of the other person. Hopefully, it's a quick acceptance and a forgiveness message comes back to you. But you have to be prepared to give the person time to think about it. And they may, in fact, not forgive you. You have no control over that. You can only control your request for forgiveness. So don't be afraid to just let that go and move on. You've done all that you can do. And then finally, don't confuse the apology time over the confrontation with the performance issue. If you've addressed someone about an issue that still is open and still needs to be addressed, you don't need to set that aside. But don't confuse the apology by including that issue in your time of apology. Set a separate time to deal with this other issue. And do it in such a way that it's constructive and helps the person to grow.
Wow, she's a great boss. I really love working here.
I'm Dick Marks, providing you with tools for a brighter future.